you feel that these conveniences that you're getting, that you open the tap and you get a lot of water, you just turn a switch on and you get light. These are conveniences. What's hidden behind it? Where is it coming from? If we don't know the source of the origin of anything, then we are living in an illusion. We are not touching reality.
So I know that your home is not just built in a sustainable way, but it also functions in a sustainable way. So how does that system work?
We try to close the loop with those life processes. Any house you are living, we can try to use that principle anywhere, not necessarily a mud construction.
We're talking a lot about energy consumption and conserving the energy. I'm sure this must take a lot of your own energy to sustain, to maintain this system. Would you say that it's worth the benefit that you get?
If the benchmarks in the society that we are growing up with is that, okay, getting a big house, getting a bigger car and getting more number of cars, we will pollute our air. So how do we address it? We are seeing increasing number of schools and colleges and increasing number of literate people coming out, but nobody is able to solve these complex issues. So the problem must be somewhere at the root level.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another Trio Tales podcast episode. Well, today I hope you're excited because we are meeting someone remarkable who has reimagined sustainable living, not just as an idea, but also as a way of life. We are pleased to welcome Miss Reva, who has built and is currently living in a mud home that functions almost entirely off the grid, relying on things like natural materials and renewable energy. From cooking with a solar-powered cooker to eliminating grey water waste, her lifestyle challenges our assumptions about comfort and convenience. It's inspiring, grounded, and also very relevant in today's world. Thank you for joining us today, ma'am. My name is Apeksha.
And my name is Pranav. Today we're going to be asking you some of the questions that we found really interesting. So do pay attention, guys.
Okay, to start off, would you like to introduce yourself?
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me here for this conversation. It feels good. My introduction, well, I think I'm a fellow citizen who's enjoying right now sitting here and enjoying life. I also get affected by all that I hear happen around. Observing things that we are not able to solve as a city, as a nation, or even as a planet. The wars going on and the conflicts that seem so complex that one doesn't know how to solve. So maybe then trying to introspect on, okay, what we as individuals can do to make some change in at least our lives and our own close circuits. I think that's what.
That's lovely. That's lovely. Okay, so to start off with our questions, what inspired you to move away from conventional housing, like to build a mud home? Was there a specific moment or turning point?
Yeah, so actually for us it wasn't the building of a mud home. It didn't start like that. It was looking at our life processes. So actually before building the house also we had started bringing those changes in our lifestyles where we were living initially. But then thanks to a group that we found who were into vernacular architecture people, so we were inspired by the work they were doing. So, and looking at traditional architecture and its benefits, we felt we would like to have a house, live in a house that is closer to nature.
So when
that follows the principles of nature.
When did that transition begin? When did you decide?
So we've been living there since the last 6 years now. But the conversations with our family started much earlier, say maybe 15, 20 years down the line, and having conversations on what's more integral to us as people, as human beings, to be wanting to live in tune with nature, to reconnect to nature, to mend the broken loops, to live a cyclical kind of a life. These kind of conversations we've been having as a family.
I think it's lovely that you practice what you preach and you actually took action.
We try to. There's still a long way to go, but we try to as much as possible.
Any step is a step. So,
absolutely. Yeah. Like your step of initiating these conversations. I think that's That's what you are also going.
Thank you so much. So, speaking about your mud home, what are the materials involved in making it? Because I heard that it uses less than 5% of cement. Weren't there any challenges during constructing it?
Actually, this idea, as we heard about traditional architecture and actually how they would use materials which are locally available. For us, that was very heartening to know that to use things which are around you, you don't have to think of importing them from somewhere far away. You don't have to think of sourcing materials which are not close by. So for us, that made a lot of sense to use locally available material. And and these people who were helping, the team which was helping us build our house, Gram Vidya, they helped source everything locally. So the soil with which the house is made, the mud home as we call it was dug out from the foundation and from close by area only. So the cement, the 5%, 4% cement is for binding, which traditionally actually cement was also not used. They would again use natural materials only for binding, but here they use.
So, did it take around the same time as building a normal home? Like with
It took around a year because then soil, mud, the mixture needs curing. The sunlight cures it, rain cures it. So it took that long to make it. Surely the conventional home gets built faster because their bricks are ready, and then ours is a rammed house construction, rammed earth construction. So you ram it and then you help it cure through natural elements, and then it takes slightly longer but not very long.
That's awesome. So I know that your home is not just built in a sustainable way, but it also functions in a sustainable way. So I know that harvests over 50,000 liters of rainwater every year. So how does that system work, like practically, like day to day?
Yeah, so for us, actually, it is the life processes in the house, the way they are run. We try to close the loop with those life processes. It's actually, even in a usual, any house you are living, we can try to use that principle anywhere, not necessarily a mud construction. So when we started building, for us, what was important was to become energy self-sufficient, to achieve self-sufficiency.
Self-sufficiency.
Yeah, when it comes to energy or water. So while building, it was important to measure the annual rainfall in Bangalore, to know how much it rains and how many people are going to be living in the house.
Yeah.
So we had to calculate that
Yeah, a lot of
if so
research,
many
yeah.
people are going to stay here, and this much it rains in Bangalore, we'll need to have a rooftop that can harvest, that can catch the rain, and then build a tank, an underground tank that stores that water for the year. So all that had to be kept in mind. How many times it rains, how much water can be stored. So that helps us because that calculation was done in time. We are able to store all the water that we need for our household chores for all of us through the year. And now it's time in June that it will rain again. Our tanks are just going to be empty again for the next rain to fall, and we'll capture that.
So it sustains you all year.
It does, and we realize that actually rainfall is abundant in Bangalore. If we make another tank, that also can be filled up. It's like that. So we have enough of it.
But
We just need to create storage for it.
You have an alternate. You do have alternate sources in case like there's.
We have a community bore well.
Okay.
Yes, there is an alternate. But our challenge is to not use that. Because somewhere we also had felt that anything that we are extracting from the earth, that question would come to our mind: are we entitled to extract it? Whether it's groundwater or even fossil fuels. That, if we are extracting, and we need big machinery to be able to extract that. It's not humanly possible with our physical, energy to extract it from that heat inside the earth. So somewhere it wasn't feeling okay that for our daily usage, for our cooking, everyday meals, and for our mobility in our cars and all, we're using fossil fuels, which takes so many years to build. And they're so deep in the earth. And now we know it comes from so far away. So to be using it on a daily basis was feeling not okay. And we wanted to try to live without all of this. So therefore, then we started thinking on, okay, if we were to go off fossil fuel completely, if we were to harvest our rainwater, use only rainwater for our usage, what do we need to do? So we created all these things.
That's so inspiring, honestly. So, speaking about Bangalore today and everything going on with the whole LPG crisis, living without LPG was very fascinating to me when I heard about it through your article. So, how did you adapt to that shift from like cooking to cooking, which is solar powered cookers?
So I would say the people who have done so much work on creating these solar cookers, I think they came to our help. We started searching online that, how can we use solar energy to cook our food. And we found this solar cooker by the name Sunwings. There's a person by name Vivek Kapra. He had experimented a lot with solar cookers, and we got in touch with him, and then he sent one solar cooker to us. We use that till date. Last 6 years, all meals have been cooked using that solar cooker. Only during a heavy rainy period and when it's very thick, cloudy day, we have a backup, which is our wood-fired chulha that we
Very
use.
nice.
We burn some wood which we get from our trees. We prune our trees around the house. We get that wood as fuel for the firewood chulha. But that we use now, I think, once a month or once in 2 months. Otherwise, this is solar cooker. That cooks all our meal.
Does it taste like any different from how you'd normally cook using a normal cooker?
Slightly different, but we've adapted our tastes to that because the feeling that the sun is directly cooked our food is
Natural.
that's more fulfilling than only the tastes that the food gives. And then when you grow your own food and it's only, so that's the energy self-sufficiency
Yeah,
loop
fulfillment
that we
comes
were
as well,
trying to, with growing your food, then cooking it using solar energy, which is also abundant, and not relying on energy which is coming from so far away. Also, this whole realization that so much conflict is caused by things which are coming from so far away, whether it is fossil fuels or sometimes conflict related to water. If we are not water self-sufficient, if we have to rely on someone else to give us water, so much conflict is rooted in dependence. Being dependent on these essential sources for ourselves.
Yes, I did hear that like pretty soon we will all have to start investing in water. It's becoming scarce.
Yeah.
It's quite concerning.
Actually conserving water, I would say,
Yeah,
because
true.
it's very predictable that rainfall will happen
Yeah,
in this
absolutely.
season, and we are blessed to get so much rainfall and so much sunlight. It's just we have to find ways to harvest it so that we can make.
Were there any restrictions as to what you could cook with these?
Yeah, so we enjoy eating chapati or roti sometimes. In the solar cooker, it's right now a little difficult.
Yeah.
We figured out different ways of using wheat. But then our firewood chula comes in handy if we sometimes want with this.
So that's why people often they associate sustainability with compromises. So was there anything that you had to make a large sacrifice for, or has this lifestyle added value in a surprising way?
Actually, no compromise, because every day is like we look forward to every morning, and surely maybe some choices of cooking become limited, but we enjoy that. Sometimes it's just okay to live with some limitations. The value add has been that when as a household, these basic needs, if you're not dependent on external large systems, sometimes you feel more in control of your system. Sometimes I feel maybe that is the value add, that you feel that these conveniences that you're getting, that you open the tap and you get a lot of water, you just turn a switch on and you get light. These are conveniences, but we feel that these conveniences are distancing us from what the reality is. We are ending up sitting in illusion of abundance, not real abundance. We feel that there's abundant light because anytime you turn it on, there's light. But what's hidden behind it? Where is it coming from? If we don't know the source of the origin of anything, then we are living in an illusion. We are not touching reality. So for us, it became important that we know where everything is coming from and what's the end of life of that thing. So that's closing the loop. That's the cyclical process we are trying to bring into our.
So you're more in touch with everything.
We tried, yes. So like, if our tank is full and if we've harvested all the rainwater and stored it in our tank, we know that this much water we have to last the year. So that is our reality check. And then every usage of water for us is measured. So we don't have any electric motors. We have hand pumps, which we draw the water using physical energy. We know the sizes of our buckets and our containers because we are very mindful of water usage. We try to conserve every drop because we know that this tank has to last us the year before it rains again. So we are very mindful. And because of that mindfulness, water is become so precious for us. It's so precious that there's a gratitude that comes when we are using that water that we've stored. That nature had given it to us and we conserve it. So all the water that we use is not single use. We use the water and then we clean it within the house. There is a grey water system that cleans water and then the water that comes out on the other end is also stored, which is used for the plants.
Oh, it's cyclical, very nice.
It's cyclical, that's right. So also ensuring that no form of waste goes out of the house. Wastewater is cleaned within the house and it comes back to the house. Any waste that we generate, the kitchen waste, also goes into the compost pit. It comes back to the garden. So everything, other than some bit of plastic that we're not able to avoid, that we collect and then dispose of once a week or something. But we're trying to reduce that also. To take our own bags and containers to refill the grocery.
I actually did have a question. So we're talking a lot about energy consumption and conserving the energy. But the system itself, to me, a person that's living in an apartment which has like 5,000 other people living in the same complex, I'm sure this must take a lot of your own energy to sustain, to maintain the system. Would you say that it's worth the benefit that you get?
Yes, it's not only about energy consumption, it's about your own value system. As a family, what are your values that you want to live by? So for us as a family and as a community also, then you also want to live with people who also are like-minded, who also want to live similar values in life. So for us then, actually, the question was that livelihood is important for everyone. How do we define livelihood? We started thinking that if livelihood means securing life essentials, livelihood is not only getting a job, earning money, but if livelihood is redefined as securing life essentials, then as a family, you first secure your life essentials. For us, our life essentials were energy to cook our food, growing our food, getting water for our sustenance through the year. If these are our life essentials, we've kind of secured those. That's secure because nature is giving us so predictably every day. We secure our life essentials, then we organize our life around those life essentials. So our living happens around the livelihood, which is actually, in the center. And then our learning is happening as a consequence of our living life and our livelihood. So actually then living, learning and livelihood are not three compartmentalized distant systems. These are nested systems. They are together. This is a large system which has livelihood in the center, living is organized around it and learning happens as a part. Yeah. And we felt that as of now, if you see how modern living is organized itself, for learning, you go to learning institutions. For livelihood, you go to earning institutions. And living happens at home. Actually, three separate compartments. This itself is alienating us to some extent. And we are trying to just conserve our energies in these three different systems. And what we've noticed in our traditional systems, actually living, learning, livelihood would happen in one place. And synergies of all three systems would help run the whole system. And actually they would help, the problems of one system would have solution in another system. So if you are having a traffic issue in Bangalore right now, a problem or solution may not lie only on the road. Solution may lie in securing our life essentials, probably in the way we understand livelihood as. If the benchmarks in the society that we are growing up with is that, okay, getting a big house, getting a bigger car, and getting more number of cars, if these are the benchmarks which are there in our livelihood system, we will end up getting more traffic issues. We will pollute our air. So how do we address it? We are seeing increasing number of schools and colleges and increasing number of literate people coming out, but nobody is able to solve these complex issues. So the problem must be somewhere at the root level that we need to address. So for us, even to get answers to these questions, we felt questioning what is our normal became a thing for being living like this in this house. It answers a lot of our questions of the crisis that the world is facing, crisis that we as a city are figuring out. There's water scarcity and the air is not clean for our next generations. We've caused the problem, then we need to find the solutions to it also. Is the resolve I sit with.
I think that although with the rise of technology and social media, people say that we're more interconnected, but to what extent are we connected to our roots and our essentials is now the question that I shall ask you, because although there's this illusion that you mentioned before that we're moving forward, I think moving a step back and being more connected with the roots, with the essentials that I just mentioned now, and the ones that we've been talking about, how important do you think that is in the current generation?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that. Actually, social media and technology, I think we are glad that that's there also. Somewhere it does help us connect because we all have moved to faraway places. We are not living with our, maybe some of our relatives, our family, extended family. So whether it's social media or technology that helps some things become easier than before, that's a boon, I would say. But we can use the same technology and same social media to get connected to our roots as well, to know what is essential, to get to, I think the crisis of the current times would be losing our instinct, not knowing what's right and how much. Maybe someday we are losing that instinct that guides us, that we all are born with, the instinct to know. How come that we are losing that? Something must be happening, whether it's through the way we are raising our children, the way we are educating them. Maybe we are diverting, distracting, and the focus has become something else, whereas it should also be some other thing. So yeah, I am saying we can use social media and technology for getting back to ourselves as well.
Using it constructively, essentially.
Constructively and knowing how much to use it. And we've seen the effect of digital, the digital paradigm on young children. We've seen the effects, how it can get very addictive, how it can, it also shapes our personality. It also shapes our attitudes and temperaments. So somewhere to keep away from it also till some time in childhood, somewhere. That's for parents to see. For parents and adults to see what kind of an ambience are we giving our children.
I think over learning about the microbe, I'm inspired by learning about the person you are. Like, this is amazing. Like, the things you have to say, I think you perfectly captured, like, how conventional housing, it can abstract the things to be grateful for. Like, right now, I am thinking about how grateful I should be for having all these resources so easily available to me and making me rethink about the way I want to live life. So it's really inspiring. You're like outlook on everything. It's amazing.
No. I don't think. I think so many other people have inspired us also, and they continue to inspire us. But to what you said about resources, I think this also was a realization that if we use resources which are limited, If we use it for our daily usage, they'll be gone. I mean, we won't have them for too long. So somewhere to shift to regenerative resources rather than depleting ones. So fossil fuels is a depleting resource. It takes so many years for it to get formed, under the earth. And if we just extract it, we are becoming an extractive system there. We as species are becoming very extractive and exploitative in a way. Yeah. So if we were to be regenerating these, and if we use sunlight is a regenerative resource, it comes every day. Plant-based oils, we have oil lamps in our house, and we use plant-based oils in those lamps. It's so easy to grow those get those oil seeds and keep getting oil from those. So, it's regenerative. It keeps, the plants will keep growing and you'll keep getting those resources. So, as a collective, what kind of resources are we dependent on? I think one is that dependence on local rather than coming from so far away. Then you know how much you have. You are in touch with reality. This is available and we use only these. When they are over, we know we won't get them.
Yeah, it's right in front of you.
Yeah, rather than not knowing where it's coming from. So actually, everything that you use, any product that you use, it's a question for you. Do you know where it's come from? What's the origin of this product? Say you get up in the morning and you use a toothpaste. For you to question where was it made? Is it a part of the large corporate, which I don't know where it comes from? Or is it just that, something from the local market that has come and I'm using? And what will be the end of life of that product? That the tube, the plastic tube or the plastic shampoo bottle, where will it go after it's over? If you don't know, then you are not entitled to use it, is how I would say. If you get it in a glass jar, you get it refilled from a shop which sells herbal products. It's made out of plants. Somebody close by has made it. And when it's over, I'll go refill the jar again. I won't throw it into the dustbin, the bottle rock. So something like that, to be mindful of what we are using and where we are throwing it.
Thank you so much for your beautiful answers, ma'am. Those are all the questions I had prepared. So Pranav also saw your YouTube video and your article. I was very fascinated by some aspects of your house. So we will move on to him.